Hiya, welcome to this video on how to create a nice simple template. There is a bit of effort that needs to go into it. I'm going to do it step by step for you, but I thought it would be useful to show you the end product, what we're trying to get to at the start, but then we'll go from scratch so you can follow along. At the end of the day, what I would like is 6 audio stems, which I have selected the instruments that I composed with and chosen which stem they're going to go into. For each of the stems, I will also have reverb going into those stems as well, not on individual instruments, although you could add it as an insert if it's a particular effect you are going for. The way I like to compose is to have all this end stuff, the reverbs and the stems, hidden. And then you just compose as normal. So write something on a piano, add another instrument, and so on. And you only then worry about creating the stems at the end. It means you have to do a little bit of extra work by routing, say, the piano to the right output, because you want to group it with any other instruments. So you have to change the stereo output, but basically everything is hidden except what you are composing with. That's the aim. We do normal composing, and then when we're ready, we click the hide button to then configure everything else at the end. So let's go through it. I'm going to start from new, and the first track I would probably put in is an instrument of a piano. The one I tend to like composing on is the grandeur. Now, if you're a guitarist, obviously you might want this to be an audio track. That's absolutely fine. And let's label that up as piano. You can do your fancy stuff like picking your icons, choose your track color to start with, and that's ready to start composing with. Great start. The other thing I like to do is set this to stereo pan so that it reminds me all the other instruments should be on stereo pan. You don't want that on balance unless it's for a particular effect, because balance just drops one side of the channel. It doesn't actually move both channels left or right. So I'm not really sure why it doesn't default to that, but there you go, a little quirk of logic. Now we need to set up some reverbs to start with. Now, if you look in the options menu, create auxiliary channel strip is Control and N. So I'm going to make sure I've clicked in this area, and I'm going to create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 auxiliary tracks. I'm then going to select them all, and I'm going to choose a reverb to stick on. So I'm going to use the Air Studio reverb, and I'm going to put it on all 6 tracks. I'm going to leave it as the default hall. You can obviously then change this to your own selection. The other thing to remember is these volume faders are on negative infinity to start with, so option click to get them up to 0, otherwise you'll never hear anything. The next thing to do is label them up, so I'll speed this bit up for you, and when we've done that we can then choose our input. So where is the input, or what send are we going to use? So as we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's start on 11 because it's got a 1 at the end, and then 12. So this is us deciding what bus we want to send next. We want to have tracks for each of these, so if we shift click them all and do create track, that then adds them into our track view. So if you need to automate anything, they're ready to go there. So in a minute, we're going to need to change the output of these, because these outputs all need to go to the different stems that we're going to create. Let's do that. We just need 6 audio tracks. So we're going to go for audio. We want 6 of them. There we go. And these are the stems. So I'm going to label them. I'll speed this up as well. Okay, next we're going to make sure we turn these into stereo tracks by just clicking the channel mode button when they're all selected. And these are going to have their own inputs as well. We're going to pick a bus number. Let's go with the 20s. I'll speed this up. There we go. So they go to the stereo out eventually, but it now means we can make sure our outputs for the reverb that's being added goes to the correct stem. And so we are nearly there. What I'm going to do is make sure you click the hide button or press H, and I'm going to select hidden for the stems and reverb. So just by clicking the hidden button or pressing H, you can close down all that extra work that you're only going to need to do at the end. So that's how we're going to compose. We're going to add extra instruments and carry on composing. When you've then finished, you're going to open up the hidden groups and you're going to route them to the correct places and rename these stems. So this, for example, will become the piano stem. This will become the guitar stem. This will become piano reverb. And that will become guitar reverb. So there's a little bit of labeling to do because it might be keys that you want. So anything that is keyboard based into the same stem. And what you then do for each instrument, you send it to the correct stem. So this goes to the piano stem, guitar stem, and if you want reverb, you then use the send to add the correct reverb. Now, if I play this at the moment, I can't hear anything, even though you can see the meter moving. That's because it's going to output 21, which is an audio track, and there's nothing on there. If I put this into input monitoring mode, now we've got something. We can also now add in the reverb. Let's go extreme so you can see it pop up. So you can see the piano reverb is coming in as well. So that is combining with the original piano sound. To give our finished piano stem. To use this, when you've got your composition done, you take it out of input monitoring, put them all into record mode, all your stems into record mode, and then you hit the record button and everything will flow through. You'll end up with a perfect set of audio stems. Lovely. There's a few other things I like to do when setting up my template that are not set up by default. So in project settings, make sure on your MIDI you have turned chase notes on. I just tend to find that's a lot easier if you've got sustained notes and you're playing from different sections. In the mixer, I don't like it when you can't see what you've written. So in configure channel strip components, you can change the number of lines available for the text. So turn that to 2, or if you're not doing very shorthand, you can change that to 3. Also, I like to set the information bar at the top to custom, which has an awful lot more information on it. And I also like to have the secondary ruler visible on this section so you can see the time stamps as you are going along. What I'll do is quickly just compose something with the piano and the guitar so that you can see the process being spat out into a stem. Okay, let's assume I've now finished composing. I've reset everything to how it would be as you finish the composing session, and then you unhide everything else. You make sure that you route the output to the correct place. So we've got piano stem and the guitar stem. If I want reverb, I'm going to need the piano reverb and the guitar reverb. I would then listen to this, decide how much I want of each. Remember, you have to have input monitoring on to hear anything. And then when you're ready, you turn off input monitoring, you put all the stems into record mode, and then you hit record. And remember to leave the recording going so that any of the ringing out sounds are recorded as well. You'll notice I had the metronome click on then while I was recording. If we take these out of record mode and play them back, you'll notice the click just went to the stereo output. It wasn't going to any of these stems, so you don't get it recorded. It also means I can now just play the piano on its own with its reverb, or the guitar. So there you go, a nice relatively simple template. Don't forget to save as template. And you can take this as far as you like, really, can't you? If you want to have your own preferred set of instruments loaded up for a particular genre that you like writing in, so maybe drum kits and orchestras, you could expand this massively. You don't have to stick to 6 tracks, just do the same thing, add as many as you like. But there's my simple template to get started with reverb and stems. Don't forget to like and subscribe, that really helps the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.